Following is a 35-minute interview with Liam Henderson, the owner of Liam's Mobile Detailing, based out of Minnetonka, Minnesota. He has over 215 five-star reviews and has been in business for about 5 years now. He gives a lot of great insight into business, detailing, the whole journey of kind of going through growing a business. And so stay tuned, watch all of that to get all the good information. But yeah, kind of like, how'd you start your business? Like, what got you into it? And just kind of like tell your story.
Okay, yeah, cool. Well, my name is Liam. I started my business about 5 years ago now, out of high school. It's called Liam's Detailing here in the Minnesota area. Like I said, been doing it for about 5 years. I started about like halfway through high school, toward the end of high school. It didn't start off as much. I started advertising through like Nextdoor and Google, and then kind of toward the end of high school, it picked up more, and then started getting more customers and doing like higher end jobs and stuff like that. And then I just stuck with it, got more customers, and got my friends to help out. And yeah, kind of started off slow and turned on to a more of a like full business.
Mhm. So did it start as more of like a side hustle that then kind of grew and then you're like, oh, I can actually do something with this? Or was your goal kind of always to make it like a big full-time thing?
Um, yeah, I would say it definitely started off as just like a side hustle, just doing like one car a day, possibly like two cars on the weekends, just for like $150, $200. I remember my first cars were like $100, just trying to make like $100 a day or $200 a day was good, plus tips. Yeah, that was considered good for me. And then like at the end of high school, I hit like $1,000 days, a couple $1,000 days. So that was really good for me. And then at that point, I would say that's when I realized I could turn it into an actual business. And then yeah, ever since then, I've just been trying to learn how do I could actually turn it into a real business and just hire people out and not detail myself and just run it as an actual business and just be at home making money, not detailing in the sun and heat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
so I know you were starting hiring like pretty recently, like a couple months ago, right?
Yeah.
And how's that been going for you? Like, what's been your experience with like hiring techs and everything?
Yeah, hiring techs, I'd say it's been hard for sure. It's a struggle. You got to know how to do it right off Indeed. Um, don't do it. I've done it off Nextdoor. It can go right, it can go wrong. It's kind of a hit or miss depending on how you market it, how you advertise it, and stuff like that. But the way I found my most luck is just hitting people up like your friends or family members, different stuff like that. Actually, I would say stay away from family members just because if you fire them or something like that, have mix up with them, you could fire them and then, have beef in the family, something like that. It might get a little weird. So I'd just say maybe friends, and then like people in your contacts, hit them up, ask them if they want to work for you. Otherwise, marketing on Indeed is really good. That's kind of where I found the most amount of people that have worked for me in the past. So those two ways have worked really well for me.
Sweet. So, how many employees do you have like right now?
Um, so right now, all my employees, I have three altogether. One of them just works for me part time. He's a friend that I have. He just works like 1 to 2 days a week, sometimes three, so very part time. And he doesn't do details like alone. He just does it side by side with me. And then the other two are full time. They work about 5 to 6 days a week, so they're full time. They rely on it as their full time income. So altogether, throughout the whole business, three people.
Nice. So then with those three employees, like how often are you still working in the business and detailing? And then like how much time is spent like doing other things? And like what kind of are those things you're doing now?
So throughout the business, after I've hired these three people, I would say I probably do actual detailing 1 to sometimes 5 days a week. So if it's like people need like a touch up, because sometimes my technicians don't show up to jobs because they're sick at the very last minute. That actually happened today. Somebody just said they're sick. They didn't text me until like 10 a.m. The appointment was at 9 a.m. They texted me at 10 a.m. saying, "Hey, I'm sick." The customer had already called me saying like, "Hey, where are you?" I scheduled an appointment for 9, and then my technician called me at 10 saying, "Hey, I'm sick. I can't do it." So anyway, that happened. I had to reschedule the job. So just different stuff like that. Sometimes I still have to take control and show up at the customer's house and do the detail. Or if a technician messes up and does a bad job, I have to myself show up and detail the car, like touch it up, different stuff like that. Or if they don't know like how to do a ceramic coating or a polishing, different stuff like that, I have to show them how to do it. Or if we just get too many customers on a certain day, just handle it, different stuff like that.
So now that you've like hired people, and your company name is Liam's Detailing, how has that like gone over kind of with your customers when you're not showing up all the time anymore?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was afraid people would just be constantly asking and expecting me to, like my technicians to be Liam, stuff like that, and be complaining to me. It does happen every now and then because I'm the one answering the phone calls, and people every now and then ask like, "Hey, are you Liam? Are you gonna be the one at the job detailing my car?" It does happen every now and then, but not as often as you would expect. So if you're out there listening and your company name is like John's Detailing or something like that, it has your name in it. If you're about to start a company, I would say don't do that. Try to avoid that. But if it's already too late, it's not the end of the world. You can still delegate and expand from there. But my customers don't really complain about that. They know I have a built-in like CRM and systems where it texts the customers and says like, "Hey, Diego is on the way to detail your car," different stuff like that. So it's not the end of the world. A lot of customers realize that I'm trying to grow a business and stuff like that. I also try to communicate like it's a technician. It's not me. I'm the owner of the business at this point, trying to grow a business. So they usually understand.
And then like as far as that goes and expanding and growing the business, like kind of what's your 5-year plan for the business now?
My 5-year plan, I would say so my ultimate goal is I'd like to at least scale it. Either 100K a month would be awesome just in total revenue, or at least a point where I could sell it for $1 million or more. That's kind of my end goal. But 5-year goal, I'd like to be doing at least like 50K or more a month in revenue. I'd like to be at 100K. I feel like that's totally doable in 5 years. But just doing a lot of high end jobs like ceramic coatings more than just basic detail jobs. Hopefully, offer like window tint and paint protection film. Have like a shop. That would be really cool.
And then as far as getting to that like 100K a month goal, is that mostly like looking for like window tint, PPF, that kind of stuff, or going like doubling down on detailing and finding dealership contracts, or kind of what's that look like for you?
I think right now I'm really going to focus on doing ceramic coatings and paint protection film and window tint, like higher end jobs for detailing, and not so much partnerships, just because I actually have one partnership with a construction company for a lot of their fleet vehicles. And I charge around like 170 to 250 per vehicle, just depending on the condition and stuff. I've been doing it for like 70 days now. I still haven't gotten paid a single dime. So all that work and stuff that my technicians do and that I do, I just have to pay out of pocket. And that's kind of what I heard from other companies that do it. I know it might be worth it once I finally get paid, but for that first 30 to 100 days, I don't know if it's even worth it. So I just kind of rather focus all my energy towards ads, towards ceramic coatings and paint protection film and that type of stuff. I feel like that might be more worth it in the end.
Yeah. So then with that construction company, you said you've been doing it for 70 days. How many of those like cars have you done, I guess?
Yeah. I think I've been keeping kind of a loose track, but I think it's only been like 10 to 15 in total. So maybe about a couple a week, whatever that math would add up to, but not a ton. It's not been like 10 a day or anything crazy, not like 10 a week, but it's been enough to keep us busy, but not like anything to put me out of business where I have to go out of business, pay all my employees out of my pocket and put me in debt. Nothing crazy like that.
Yeah.
But enough to keep us busy for sure. It's been nice.
Okay. Yeah. And so then if they haven't paid in 70 days, is it on like a net 100 or something? Or how they like pitch it to you kind of when you got it?
Yeah. So they told me they didn't really disclose it when I first started with them, but then kind of after 10 or 20 days when I wasn't getting paid, I kind of started asking more questions, and then they said it would be on a net 30. So then I didn't know what that was. And then I figured it out. I did some research and learned about it. So then I was fine with that. But then apparently I was on a net 60, which I didn't know how I was on that. So then I guess I had to transfer myself to the net 30, which I did that. But I think there's like some issues with their software or something, because for every company that you use, they have very strict like insurance rules that you have to go through, and like you have to use their payroll websites and all this different things you have to, depending on how big the company is. Because I worked with another, it was like a house building company. They would just pay me off their company card every time. That was really nice. But this company is like a big Fortune 500 company. They're like a multi-billion-dollar company. So they have to pay me every 60 days apparently. So it's been 60 days since my first couple. I'm still waiting. So we'll see where it goes. I might just cancel it, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't think I've heard of like, I mean, I have heard of people like being held out on stuff like that, especially from those big companies. It's like, I remember every time I'd go for like a fleet, it was always, we'd put them through our software and like kind of force their hand so that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But it's like, sometimes like you get it and you're like, oh, I gotta get it. I bet you get like when you first started, especially like the spam, like scam type things. They're like, I want 5 cars ceramic coated, full package. I want to send you $1,000 right now. And you're like, oh, $1,000 right now, 5 cars ceramic coated. Yeah, I'll do that. And it's like, oh no. And it kind of like teaches you like, what are some other like kind of lessons I guess you've learned along the way?
Yeah, I still get those for sure. I don't get excited about them. I just know it's spam. Sometimes I'll go along with it just to play into it and see what they do, try to piss them off a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, if anybody texts me like saying they'll deliver it to my shop or like bring it to a location, I know that's spam, or saying they'll bring me a check and pay up front. That's just sus. Besides that, I feel like I don't get too many people trying to scam me. Like besides that type of scam, I feel like there's not too many people besides like actual customers. I'll show up to their house and they'll say it's like not dirty, just trying to get like the cheapest package or something like that, and making us do the most amount of work possible, trying to get a shortcut. But besides that, there's not too much. The other day we had somebody, we did a Dodge Durango for them. They said over the phone there wasn't stains in it and it was already spotless, so it just needed a quick vacuum. We got there and it was horrible, like the worst car we've detailed all year. Yeah, we were trying to upcharge them and they wouldn't take it. They just wanted like the cheapest price possible. Yeah, it's bad.
Kind of going off that, how do you like structure your pricing so like that doesn't happen, and like your packages and all that?
For my pricing, I usually try to structure it to like $100 an hour, like not for me, not profit, but just revenue. So if I know a detail is going to take like 3 hours, I'll structure it to like $300. So then each hour we spend calculates to around $100 per hour. Otherwise, if it's like 3.5 hours, I'll do $350. So around that range. Otherwise, say you get there, you've charged $200, and then you realize, oh, it's going to take me 3 hours, then just upcharge like an extra 75 or an extra $100. Just tell them, I guess, an extra dirty fee, something like that. And usually they're fine with it just because you're already there detailing the car. And then that way you can make some extra money and still make 100 per hour. That's usually what I do.
So with making around 100 per hour, kind of how do you structure your like employees pay then?
I'm still learning that, to be honest, but so far what I've found is either like a percentage pay, like usually anywhere from 20%. That's kind of on the lower end, but I've heard people do 40%. It's kind of on the higher end. So I would say either way from 20 to 30 to 40% is kind of on the usual like percentage end. That's not what I do right now. I do like a flat rate. That's what a lot of people do. One of my people gets paid hourly. I gave him the choice between hourly or flat rate, and he chose hourly, so I pay him $23 an hour. So he gets paid $23 an hour. I know a lot of people don't suggest that because you could do like a $100 detail or $200 detail. They could spend like all day, and you're just out of money. But I figure most of my details are like $200 minimum, so he can't really take all day on a $200 detail. So, and then like 23 times 10 is like right around 200. So yeah, and then plus they're making tips, so it's usually pretty good money. My flat rate system is probably right around like 20% to 30%, just depending on the car. Sometimes a little more. Some might be like 40% if it's a maintenance detail. So, but I would just say if you're like new to technicians and paying people, just calculate it so it's always above 20 an hour. And then plus tips, obviously, just make sure you let them keep 100% of the tips. I used to not let them do that. I used to like make them give me a percentage, but over time I learned that was kind of messed up and gave them all the tips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did the exact same thing. I'm gonna check the video to make sure it didn't like auto stop or anything. No, we're still going. That's good. Yeah, but yeah. I know like the industry like standard for like labor is your total labor at the end of the month should be below like 30% or 35%. And so it was like when I was trying to figure that out, I'm like, okay, we have 2 guys on the job. If we pay them 15% commission, we need to charge this much to like get them to like 20 to 25 an hour, depending on who it was. And that's like the most annoying part is doing all the math, because you'll look and you'll be like I remember last year it was like June, we had like 15% margin on labor. And then the next month it was like 42%. And so it was like figuring out that like the whole like labor system, especially mobile, when you have drive time and it's like you can't figure out the condition right away. You don't have like a perfect process for getting quotes. I feel like that makes it a lot harder to like structure that employee pay. That's why most like mobile detail companies stay small, is because they get into that part and they're like, well, I don't know what to do here because I'm not making any money, and now they're making no money and nobody's happy. And then they're like, okay, maybe I'll just go back to solo with a helper or something. But with getting into like PPF and window tint, do you like foresee yourself getting a shop soon? And like how does that look? I know you had the one last winter, but are you looking to kind of go to something similar or upgrade or?
Yeah. I would say my plan for a shop and how to get into window tint, I've thought about it a couple times. I'd just like to get as many ceramic coatings done as possible, because I know window tint and paint protection film can be really hard to do mobile. So, and ceramic coating is kind of the only high ticket job, like thousand or multiple thousands of dollars job that you can do fully mobile. So for now, I'd like to just stay detailing, doing like interior, exterior ceramic coating detailing mobile until I can hit like 30, 50, like 60K, pretty much as high as I can revenue months. And then once I'm ready to afford a shop and get into window tint and paint protection, then I'm going to do that. But I don't want to rush it. I want to make sure I can fully afford a shop. And once I'm ready to scale into a shop and get into that stuff, then I will. Yeah.
So kind of jumping off of that too, kind of like go over how you're advertising right now. Because I mean, how much are you doing like monthly right now?
Like revenue or
Yeah, like
ad spend?
revenue.
Okay. I'm probably doing around my best month this summer, I think, was around like 23 or 24K. And that was just off local service ads. And then that was my only advertising, like local service ads, and then also word of mouth, obviously.
Yeah.
But then some of that money was also from gift cards, because that was in May. So I had a Mother's Day sale then. That helped out a lot. I made like 3,000, I think, from that alone. So that was pretty good. But besides that, I'm actually running meta ads, so Facebook and Instagram ads right now. I just started that, I think, last month. And whenever I can, I just call the leads on there. So it's kind of harder, I would say, to close them than just normal local service ads, because they're a little bit colder than of a lead. But besides that, they convert somewhat well. But local service ads are probably the best ads to start running if you haven't already, if you're not running any ads.
Yeah, those Google LSA ads will print.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, like the meta ads are, oh, you got to call someone. I don't remember filling out this form.
Yeah.
Something like that. But kind of like now that you're doing meta ads, what's your creative process look like in going through building those out and trying to get customers from those?
Yeah. Well, right now I'm just running AI ads, honestly. And I'm about to film like an in-person ad of me like promoting my business and stuff like that, which is probably gonna convert a lot better. So I'm gonna be filming that hopefully sometime this week or within the next 2 weeks, something like that, pretty soon. So we'll see how that does. I've never done one of those. It's just been AI ads. So yeah, we'll see how it converts. Besides that, I usually just do. What was your other question?
I think that was it. I think it was just what's your kind of creative process in building out your ads for Meta. Yeah, go for it.
And then I have somebody else who's helping me with the AI ads. He helps me. He's like the cheapest guy I found. There was somebody that was charging me like $700 or $800 a month, which is still pretty cheap.
Yeah.
One guy was charging me like 1,500 a month, and I found someone for 700. Now I found somebody for 300 a month. He just copied. He didn't change anything. He just copied the exact same thing and is running the ads. So it's been going pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, for $300 a month, I've never heard of an ad agency for $300 a month. But hey, if it's working, then that's good.
I'm detailing this Corvette Z06. It's a white one. It's a brand new 2026 one as well. So that should be super exciting. I've never done a Corvette. I think I did a Porsche Turbo 911 Turbo S like about a month ago. That was super nice. It's a guy who's a financial advisor.
Oh, really?
And he has like 4 cars. He drives them for like a month and then swaps them out. But every time he drives it, he wants it ceramic coated. So I probably made like $5,000 or $6,000 off of him. He just calls me up, gets it ceramic coated, then swaps it out, which I don't know why you do, but it's good for me. I'm not complaining. But anyways, yeah, I've got this other customer, a different guy. I'm gonna be ceramic coating his Z06 Corvette, and then he also has a Supra. I'm gonna be ceramic coating. So yeah, those should be pretty fun.
How do you do you get a lot of like old cars too, or is it mostly like new cars? Like what's kind of like what are some cool cars that I guess you've seen? And like if you've had like any issues, like old cars, like you can't like spray them down as much, you know? But like how do you like teach your techs to deal with uh, adverse conditions, I would say?
I would say I've seen mostly that we detail like newer cars, probably like 2010 and newer, up from there. Yeah, 2010s and newer, I would say. A lot of like Mazdas are like detailing like interior. I would say like just kind of daily commuter cars, like moms and parents that want their kids' messes cleaned up and stuff like that. People that want like car wash, kind of like car wash cleanup, but like better than that. And then like ceramic coating. It's usually like fancier cars like Audis or like Porsches, like Corvettes, stuff like that. But how I teach my technicians how to do details and make sure it's the same quality, in my CRM that I use, it's called Field. I make sure there's like a setting that I can use for before and after pictures. So yeah, they always take before and after pictures just to make sure they're doing a good job. But then that also helps if like a customer was ever wanting to sue us, damaging like saying we cracked their windshield, something like that. We can have proof that we didn't do it and it was there before. Just for different stuff like that. Also, I try to verify that they've been detailing for a couple of years and like know what they're doing on their Indeed profile and different stuff like that. Just interview them, asking good questions, and then once I do eventually hire them, I just kind of train them in for like a week or even up to a month and just work side by side and look over all the cars they've detailed and just make sure they're actually doing a good job and know what they're doing.
So to get the 3 employees that you have now, how many people do you have to churn through to find good ones?
I would say this summer it actually wasn't too many. Last summer it was quite a lot, and probably hiring like over and over up until maybe like June. Yeah, I would say June. I was looking like all the way through like um yeah, early summer, like very beginning of summer, like April, May, all of April, all of May, some of the beginning of June, and then I finally found somebody, and then he stuck with me all of summer, but then quit on me on like very end, so it was fine. It was becoming winter anyways, but he left me for a competitor, saying that they paid better, which I mean they did pay a little better, but it's all good. And then this year I found them pretty fast, which is good, but they haven't been the best, to be honest. They've been a little late to each job. This guy that I have has had like 3 family emergencies in the past 2 weeks or something, which I mean, it gets to a point where it's kind of suspicious, but I guess having employees is better than just detailing in 90-degree heat every day yourself. So I try to remember that, like somebody doing it 70% or 80% on their own is a lot better than you doing it like 100%, doing it perfect, than sitting at home, and you can be at home chilling.
Yeah. So I'm gonna talk to the camera for a minute. So we used to be competitors. We used to be like what, probably like 3-4 miles from each other's like shop locations. And so I just kind of wanted to ask, like, how do you view like competition? Because I remember when I was in business, I would look at your profile every day, see how we're ranking, see how our ads are doing against yours, because you were like, you had more reviews, you were kind of like consistently ranked at the top in the area. So kind of how do you see competition like locally?
Yeah. Um, Honestly, I don't really look at them because I feel like the more you look at them, the more you just get discouraged. The only reason I would look at them is just for tips. Like if you want to learn how to set up your Instagram better or learn how to like set up your detailing equipment better, hire technicians or different stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're just gonna look at their Instagram every day and be like, oh damn, they're doing so much better than me, different stuff like that, it might just discourage you because they've been doing it for 5 years or something like that while you've just been doing it for a month, and that you're going to get discouraged and just give up pretty easy. Because I've noticed that's happened to me a couple times. I follow some detailers who have been doing it for a lot longer than me. It makes me just want to give up sometimes, but I have to remember I'm still doing really good for where I'm at just to keep going. So yeah.
So have you like collaborated or anything with any other local detail companies, or I guess any companies in general? If you just kind of want to share your experience about that.
I haven't right now. I've been thinking about it though. I guess there was this one kid, one of my old technicians. I guess one of my technicians now, they both had their own detailing companies, or have, because the one that I work with now has his own detailing company. So I do kind of give him tips and tricks on how to grow it. I don't want him to grow it too big so he quits on me, but
Yeah.
I guess that could be kind of considered what you were asking about. Otherwise, there's other ones that I've tried to give like customers to and stuff like that. So I think we're kind of like friendly. They're not going to leave 1-star reviews or anything or like bash me. People give me clients as well. Like clients have said, I've got recommended to you by this company and different stuff like that, which is cool. I know some detailing companies will put on car shows and stuff like that. I've never really thought about that. I've thought about it, but I feel like it's a lot of work. But it would be cool to just go to a car show and like sponsor it. So thought about that sometimes.
Yeah. Have you had like been offered any opportunities for sponsorships that aren't like I know you probably get like a lot of calls for like magazines or something like that. But have you like ever thought about like sponsoring like an event or something?
I haven't. I have got calls from, like you said, magazines and golf courses, and I did sign up for a golf course thing once, like about a year ago. Of course, I didn't get any calls from that, and I did sign up for like a women's high school hockey magazine. So I don't think I got any calls from that either. But besides that, I think yeah, it would be cool. I haven't gotten offered to, but it would be cool to sponsor a car show. Actually, that guy, the financial advisor guy I was talking about, he did ask me. I don't know if you've heard of the place called Emola around here. It's like
I think so, yeah.
yeah, he called them up and he was like, hey, do you guys have anybody that already sponsors your car shows? And they said yes, because there was already some people, but I think if they said no, he was gonna give me a spot, so that would have been pretty cool, but unfortunately they did.
So then like talking about the car shows and like even hosting your own, are there like any immediate plans for any, I guess, events that you're thinking about, or like even just like a special offer or anything that you'd be willing to share?
um I would say as far as a special offer goes, I always have like sales on my website, and then especially for gift cards. Those like if you're ever in need for desperate money, that's kind of what gets me through the winter, having big gift card sales, because 50%, maybe even more, but for sure 50% of people don't redeem it because there's this app called Gift Up. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but yeah, that's what I use on my website for gift card sales. People will just buy gift cards thinking they're going to use it, especially in winter, because no one gets a gift, no one gets a detail in the winter. So people will just buy a gift card and then think they're going to redeem it, and they'll never do. So that's pretty much what I do for big sales, I would say. What was the other thing you asked about?
If there are really any events or big moves you're kind of planning that
Okay.
you'd be willing to share.
Events. I don't think there's too much events. I guess maybe I would like to do like a free detail in the community. That'd be kind of cool if people just pull up their cars,
Mm-hmm.
like come and go, get a free detail or a free car wash. That would be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I've kind of thought about, but that would be kind of it. Just put that on for the community. People come and go as they want.
Mm-hmm. And with those gift cards, kind of how are you like advertising those? Because I know you said you made $3,000 off a Mother's Day sale. So like, kind of how are you pushing that to your customers? Are you pushing it to new people with ads, or kind of how does that go?
With the gift cards, I usually push it through SMS text. Like I just push it through all my customers. I have like around 800 to 900 customers. I push it in my CRM. I know you have a CRM, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you could probably do it in there too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I use Field, but yeah, you could do it in DetailPro, right?
Yeah.
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 So just text all your customers, and then at least like 5%, 1 to 5%, I would say will probably buy. And then like as long as you price it right, like 150 or 250 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What I do is usually price it like around the normal amount, but
Mm-hmm.
just say it's a discount. So like price it at 300, but then say $100 off or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's just going to be 200, which is your normal price. But people will see the discount thinking there's a discount and buy.
Yeah. So you're tacking, do you like tack on add-ons that are like really easy for you to do, and then like put the value and say then, oh, this is actually $400, but it's 200 now. Yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah, I think if there's any like closing things you have to say, I think I pretty much asked everything. Um, but yeah, if there's anything else you want to say, go for it.
Not too much I have to say. I would just say if you're in the detailing game, just keep detailing. Don't give up on your dreams. Just it's a long-term game. It's going to take multiple years if you want to actually turn it into like a 10K or 20K, 50K a month business that you could actually sell for something. Otherwise, if you want to keep doing it just as a one-man or two-man operation, that's fine, but you will probably get burnt out at some point. Yeah, that's about all I have to say. Follow Brady on TikTok. Follow me on
Follow him on
TikTok.
TikTok too. I'll tag him in the post.